Welcome to Bucket Talk, and on today's episode, we'll be breaking down Max Christie's development, the injury crisis that's going on right now, and potential draft players that the Mavericks could pick up. So, the injury bug is struck again, and everyone is injured right now. Even Kyrie tore his ACL. He's probably going to be out for some of next season too. So, I just want to get your thoughts of what you think we should do and what are your thoughts on this situation right now?
Honestly, I feel like there's not much we can do. I hate to say this, but I think our season's just down the drain. The Kings, it was a huge game we needed to win, and so that just kind of throws our whole dynamic because that was our last great player healthy. And I don't even know when is Gafford and Washington coming back? How long are this?
Gafford in April, PJ in probably a couple games.
Yeah. But even with Kyrie there, I think our lineup is still would have been so weak that facing these tough teams, I don't think we would have won most games. But now he's gone, it's completely down the drain. I don't think there's a chance we make playoffs. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that too. And I don't even know if Anthony Davis will even bother to come back this year now. Because they say he's close to a return, but I don't even think it's worth it anymore. Because I feel honestly, the best route for the future is just to get a good pick.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we're in the bottom of the play-in right now. So do you think we should just, tank or, what?
I mean, I don't think they would, but honestly, I would. What do we have to lose tanking, right? Our season's down the drain. Kyrie got, season-ending injury. We have so many guys hurt. If we can go out and pick up, I don't know about Flag, but Dylan Harper or Ace Bailey, which even then, I don't think we pick up those guys. But if we can get someone in the top 5 to 7, to top 10, we probably would land there anyways, but that would be big time.
Even if we get to the 10th pick, there is a chance of us rolling forward because in the past, a lot of teams have done that. Mm-hmm. When Cleveland got Kyrie with the number 1 pick, they had just 2.8% chance to get there. So there is a possibility of us potentially coming up. Like we said, Flag would be amazing. Harper would be awesome, but those are just unrealistic options.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, if those people are on the board, go ahead and take them and run away, and your franchise is set for the future unless you do something stupid.
Mm-hmm. I want to get your input on realistic picks in the upcoming draft.
Yeah, so I've had a little bit of a struggle trying to kind of place this because it kind of surprises me that I think a guard would be the best pick, and I've always been against that, especially with the Mavericks. And right now I think you're in a good place with your bigs, especially after the Davis arrival, and once he's healthy you're at a good place there. You don't need any more depth. You may want an extra 3, a starting caliber 3, but
I think our forwards are pretty strong. It's an underrated part of our team.
And I think you for sure need another guy who can just be I need to take over this game. Let me go take over this game and win this game. Mm-hmm. And we have Davis too. I keep forgetting about Anthony Davis. But I feel if you add another creator, the offense has become so much more dynamic. And that's why I think you need another guard. Yeah. Because even without the playmaking of Luka, Thompson's numbers... Thompson, maybe getting more points or threes a game, but that's only because everyone's hurt and he's just shooting every single shot.
Yeah.
Realistically, once the offense goes back to normal, his production dips.
Yeah.
So I feel you need someone who can get him the ball without him having to do all this dribbling. Who can get Kyrie some off-ball minutes, because right now, Kyrie had the highest minutes per game since the Luka trade.
He was at workload.
Yeah, you something like this is gonna happen if you do that to a person. Just make them shoulder the whole offense and then play them the whole game. Mm-hmm. So it's the more creators you have, that's not a bad thing. Everyone on the team so far can play off the ball, and they've proved that. Clay is an off-ball player, Kyrie can be an off-ball player, Davis can be, Lively is. You're just kind of missing that one person who's a creator. You have one creator. You probably need about 2 to go win a championship. So with that being said, a couple people I liked, obviously I'm in love with Dylan Harper because of how dynamic of a player he is, but I don't know. I feel Trey Johnson would also be not that bad. Yeah. If it depends how far we go. Trey Johnson, he can be a great pick. I feel even though he's not more of a creator, he's a good facilitator, and he can get to the basket and attack and like go get a bucket. Also, Liam McNeely, I feel like he's like a Klay Thompson type of guy. Like I think he'd be good too if you can't get that creator. I feel like if you can't get a creating guard, I feel like you should go after a wing who can shoot. Yeah, and he's a wing who can shoot, and he can shoot the lights out. Yeah, and he's kind of like a Klay, where he doesn't need to dribble at all. He's a good off-ball player, so I feel like that could be good.
If we were to pick a forward, would you go with Igor Demon? That's what a lot of people are projecting we would pick up, or Asa Newell from Georgia, another really talented forward. Both are forwards. Asa Newell has a little bit more height on him, but Igor is also a great player. Who would you pick between them two?
Well, okay, so I feel like Asa Newell is definitely a better player, and that's why he has way more talent and athleticism, and his ceiling is overall probably like a way higher ceiling than Igor Demon's. But with Demon, you do get what I just said, and he's also like he's a creator above all. They have his comparisons to Josh Giddey, so that makes me a little concerned about shooting. Yeah. Because on this team, our shooting used to be stellar, and right now I feel like it's going to be in a big dip because of this double big lineup. Even though Davis can shoot, Lively can shoot, but he never does. Klay can shoot, Kyrie can shoot, but it's like there's a lack of threes. So I feel like you do need someone who can at least like hold their own and like make people step up. And I feel like if he's a Josh Giddey type of mold player, like people are just going to disrespect him to the point where they just leave him wide open. So it's kind of hard to create at that point. Yeah. So it depends. If Demon can develop a shot, I'm all in because he's another creator. He can get everyone the ball. He can shoot at least a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with you. Newell has such raw athleticism, but I feel like from a forward, we wouldn't really ask, a guy could just, I don't know. Like, I completely agree with how you were saying earlier. Like, I feel like we're forgetting how, like, we need a point guard, right? Like, Luka is, he's out traded, and we just have Kyrie. But, I mean, I think we need another guard to solidify, like, that 1-2 punch that we were missing, I mean, we have Max Christie, but getting out, like, a nice young superstar and developing him, that could definitely help us for sure. Instead of going with the forwards, which I think we have a lot of young talent and rising talent.
I think that, like, Christie, like, he'll eventually take Klay Thompson's role once Klay ages. But I think if you do pick a Liam McNeely, it gets a little complicated with that dynamic because he is a literal clone of Klay Thompson.
Yeah, so I agree.
Like, you have a logjam at the 2-3 already. Before the season, you were thin at the 3-4. And now you'd have a logjam at the 3-4. So it's kind of like a couple of these guys are going to have to get moved for the future of this team. Probably the odd man out would be Caleb Martin, who we just traded for. So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of interesting roster dynamics. Like, we would also get a rookie contract, which would help our salary cap out here. And I think we do need a point guard or a small forward. Probably not. Or a shooter. It depends. Like, Knupel would also be not, like, Knupel would also be pretty good.
But I also think that's, again, like what you're saying, very similar to Klay's play style. And I think Knupel's game, I don't want to doubt him, but I wouldn't say it would translate as well in the NBA because I don't think he's very athletic. I mean, he can obviously get to the rack, but he's, a shooter. I mean, I think realistically, if we're at the, 10, 11, 12th pick, Jeremiah Fears would be a great option to pick up. I mean, I think we can maybe land lower, but I don't know what, like, the Mavs are trying to do in this. Like, what, are they trying to get a forward or... Because, I mean, what they're saying is they're trying to get Igor Demon. Jeremiah Fears is a great guy. Yeah, I feel like he kind of is like a Jaden Hardy. He's super quick on the dribble, and he can get to the rim well. So, I don't know. We'll see.
I feel like if Jaden Hardy just, like, developed and, like, got some basketball IQ, all of these problems would be solved right now because it feels like everything we're describing and wanting is, like, everything Jaden Hardy can be.
Yeah. And I wouldn't even say necessarily, like, the IQ. I just feel like he lacks maybe confidence because...
Yeah, that too.
I think, I don't know, he doesn't receive the... I mean, he did... I think there was an improvement in his playing time because we've talked about this in previous episodes that we should be playing more. But I mean, maybe that's because of injuries. But yeah, if he just, I don't know how. I mean, we've been trying to develop him, but maybe like we're not really trying hard enough because like now we're gonna have to lean on him. But he's obviously hurt. But
I want to get your input on this. Say we do get like a shooter type of player in the first round, like a McNeely, Knupel, like one of those types of guys. I'd be okay with that. But I still think there's a lack of creation on this team. You only have one creator, Kyrie Irving, and now he's gone. So what are you going to do to get all these open shots? So I feel like a solid option could be going into the second round, even though you don't got to pick, maybe trade into the second round, trade back in the first round and get your shooter, trade into the second round and go to like about 45, 46 and get maybe a Xavier Lee. What do you think on that?
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier that Xavier Lee, like, he didn't have quite the fame he does now, but I mean, he's shifty and like watching him play is exciting. He can get to the rack, he can shoot, and he's 6'4". Like, I thought he was shorter than that. The only thing is he just lacks size, but I think you get him the right food and everything, he should be able to pick up.
I also think playing on the same team as Kyrie Irving with a player that has like an identical play style,
I agree with that.
Would be like a dream come true, and like it would like develop his game so much. Because I really feel like he's a lot better than the draft is saying. Like, I understand he's 20. 20 years old is still insanely young to do like to develop.
And I feel like maybe his stock is lower because he plays at Princeton. But I mean, they had the upset last year against Arizona, and they've beat some really good teams. I think they beat Rutgers this year, and Xavier Lee, like, I think he had 20 that game. He's been throwing out great numbers, and he's definitely super underrated. But another option though is maybe we could develop Christie into obviously he's a great scorer, but more of a shot creator, get people open, and so if we don't go with the drafting route, we could try and get him to set up people more. I don't know.
I don't know what to do with Christie because right now he's by far my favorite player on the Mavericks. And I feel like there's so many routes they could go to develop him, and I really don't want them to screw it up. I feel like you could make him like a non-factor or make him like the biggest part of this offense with how you develop him. They were throwing out comparisons to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with like the stats after they got traded. Do I think he's going to be like that? No, not at all. But I think he can develop into like maybe a third option on a championship team. Maybe a second primary handler. So like, I don't know.
And I think he can, I wouldn't say a superstar by any means, but I think he can develop into a player much important than a role player. I think like a star. I just say a star. He's a star player that the Mavs, they need him in big games and dropping like solid 10 points when we have a healthy team. But yeah, I mean, it is confusing on what route you want to go with him. Like, do you want him to be a pure scorer? Do you want him to be, kind of just control the offense with Kyrie being injured? And I mean, I think like that's probably the best option. But
right now, he's like one of the best two-way guards in like young guards. So that's like a good thing. He can play defense. And I think right now, without Kyrie, if you're going to tank like I think you should do, literally just let him run the offense for the next 20 games. And just become a straight point guard right now. So he has that thing in his skill set. He can do it, but I've noticed whenever I've watched him bring up the ball or initiate the offense, he isn't like, it's not like his favorite thing to do. Like he's not.
He's a little hesitant. Yeah. I'd say I've seen that too. But I mean, I love that idea, honestly. I mean, because right now we should tank. We have nothing left to lose. But if you can, use this as an opportunity to get Christie more comfortable in playing at the point guard position, that could help us for sure. And I mean, he's super talented, so I think he can easily live up to the role. It's just like, I feel like it's just how we use him. And like you were saying, if we use him incorrectly, that can haunt us. Yeah,
I really think they should like try to develop him a little bit as a point guard, just so he can be that secondary offensive initiator. Because whenever he creates for a shot, it's like all natural and it's like straight water.
He knows how to get to a spot, which is where I see the comparison of Shai. I mean, he's not, I don't say he's close to him at all, but yeah.
I think like he's an amazing shot creator. I just think he needs to learn how to be a better shot. He needs to be a better playmaker. I don't know how else like we can develop him. I don't want him to just become a pure like catch and shoot guy. I feel like that's like the wrong move.
No, because he has so much potential. He has super good handles too. Like he knows how to use them, get to the rim, pull up for a midi. He's more comfortable with his mid-ranges.
Especially off the dribble. Catch and shoot, he prefers the 3.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
As soon as he goes to his dribble, it's only a mid-range or it's just a free layup. Or
Yeah.